old witch. I bet if you were my grandmother, you would be gone by now. The next time you cross my path, I swear you will regret it all your life.
They say beauty is a gift from the gods. But what happens when that gift becomes a weapon? This is the story of Amara, the most beautiful woman in all of Calabar, whose reflection in the water was more precious to her than any human soul. By the time she learnt the true price of her vanity, it was already too late. The morning sun had barely kissed the horizon when Amara stood before her mirror, as she did every morning, admiring the face that had brought her both worship and ruin. Her skin was smooth like polished mahogany, her eyes bright as stars, and her smile could make even the strongest man weak in the knees. But that morning, something was different. Something was terribly wrong. "No," she whispered, her hands trembling as they touched her face. "No, no, no!" But we're getting ahead of ourselves. To understand Amara's cry of horror that morning, we must go back to when her beauty was still intact, when her pride knew no bounds, and when she believed herself untouchable. 6 months earlier. The village of Calabar was alive with the usual morning activities. Women balanced clay pots on their heads, walking gracefully to the stream. Children chased each other through the dusty paths, their laughter filling the air. Fishermen prepared their nets for the day's catch. It was a peaceful village where everyone knew everyone, and life moved with the gentle rhythm of tradition. But there was one person who disrupted that peace wherever she went. "Move! Can you not see me coming?" Amara's voice cut through the morning air like a sharp knife. An elderly woman carrying firewood quickly stepped aside, nearly stumbling in her haste. Amara walked past without a second glance, her expensive wrapper swaying with each step, her jewelry clinking softly. She held her head high, her nose pointed to the sky, as if the very air around common people was beneath her. Behind her, at a respectful distance, walked Zara, her stepsister. Where Amara was tall and striking, Zara was small and plain. Where Amara wore the finest clothes her father's money could buy, Zara wore simple, worn wrappers. Where Amara walked with the confidence of a queen, Zara moved like a shadow, always trying to be invisible. "Hurry up, you slow tortoise. I do not have all day to wait for you." "I am coming, sister," Zara replied softly, quickening her pace despite the heavy water pot she carried on her head. Amara's own pot was barely half filled and light as a feather, but she would never carry more than that. Heavy loads were for common people, she always said, for people like Zara. They reached the village stream, where several women had already gathered. The moment Amara appeared, the cheerful chatter died down. Women exchanged nervous glances. Some pretended to be busy with their washing. Others simply bowed their heads. "Good morning, Amara," one brave woman offered. Amara looked at her as if she had spoken gibberish. "Is it good? The sun is too hot, the path was too dusty, and now I must share this stream with everyone?" She wrinkled her nose in disgust. The woman who had greeted her looked down at her feet, embarrassed. Amara walked to the clearest part of the stream, the spot where the water was freshest and cleanest. An older woman was already there, filling her pot. Amara tapped her foot impatiently. "Excuse me," the woman said politely. "I will be done in just a moment." "I do not have a moment. That is my spot. Move!" "But I was here first, my daughter. Please, just let me finish." "Do I look like your daughter? Do not insult me by claiming kinship with someone like you. I said, move." The woman, seeing the fury in Amara's eyes, quickly grabbed her half-filled pot and moved away, water slushing over the sides. The other women watched in silence, anger and pity mixing in their hearts, but none dared to speak. This was not the first time Amara had humiliated someone at the stream, and it would not be the last. Zara stood at a distance, her heart heavy with shame. This was her sister, her own blood, treating people like dirt beneath her feet. She wanted to apologize to everyone, to explain that Amara was not always like this, but that would be a lie. Amara had been like this for as long as Zara could remember, ever since the day her father's business prospered and people started calling Amara the most beautiful girl in Calabar. Something dark had taken root in her sister's heart. "Zara," Amara called, "stop standing there like a statue and come wash my wrapper, or have you become blind as well as useless?" Zara hurried over, her eyes stinging with unshed tears. As she knelt by the water to wash Amara's clothes, she heard her sister continue her cruel commentary. "Look at Mama Kemi over there," Amara said loudly, pointing at a woman washing clothes nearby. "That wrapper she is wearing is so old I can see through it. Has your husband stopped providing for you, Mama Kemi, or did he finally realize what an ugly wife he has and run away?" Mama Kemi's hand stilled in the water. Her lips trembled, but she said nothing. "And you, Blessing," Amara turned to a young girl. "I heard you were promised to the blacksmith's son. How unfortunate for you. Everyone knows that family is as poor as church rats. I suppose ugly girls like you cannot afford to be choosy." Blessing's eyes filled with tears. She was only 15, and her engagement to the blacksmith's son was something she had been happy about until this moment. "Amara, please," Zara whispered. "Why must you be so cruel?" Amara turned to her stepsister with a cold smile. "Cruel? I am simply stating facts. Is it my fault that the truth hurts? Perhaps if these people spent less time being jealous of my beauty and more time improving themselves, they would not be so sensitive." The women at the stream exchanged looks but remained silent. What could they say? Amara's father, Chief Okon, was the wealthiest man in the village. He owned vast land, many servants, and had connections with powerful people in the city. No one wanted to risk his wrath by confronting his beloved daughter. As the morning wore on, Amara continued her reign of terror at the stream. She criticized every woman's appearance, mocked her clothes, her husband, her children. She complained about the water quality, the noise, the smell. By the time she was ready to leave, every woman there was fighting back tears or burning with silent rage. "Finally," Amara announced, "I can leave this place. The stench of poverty was beginning to suffocate me. Zara, carry my pot." "But sister, I am already carrying mine." "Did I ask if you were already carrying something? I said carry my pot. Or do you want me to tell father how disobedient you have been?" Zara knew that threat well. Her father loved Amara more than anything in the world. His first wife, Amara's mother, had given birth to her, and Chief Okun had poured all his love and grief into his daughter. When he remarried and Zara was born, he made it clear that Zara would always be second. Anything Amara said was law in their household. With trembling hands, Zara tried to balance both pots. The weight was too much, and water sloshed on her wrapper, but she did not complain. Complaining would only make things worse. As they walked back to their father's compound, Amara hummed a cheerful tune, completely unbothered by the pain she had caused. This was just another normal day for her. The suitors. Chief Okun's compound was the largest in the village, with several buildings arranged in a square around a central courtyard. The main house was painted white and had a corrugated iron roof that gleamed in the sun, a sign of wealth and modernity. Servants moved about their duties quietly, well trained to be invisible unless needed. In the main parlor, Chief Okun sat in his favorite chair, a massive wooden throne-like seat carved with intricate designs. He was a large man with a round belly and a booming laugh. On the small table beside him sat a bottle of palm wine and a glass. "Amara, my precious jewel," he called as his daughter entered the compound. "Come and greet your father." Amara's face, which had been set in a permanent scowl since leaving the stream, transformed into a bright smile. "Good morning, Papa." She knelt before him in the traditional greeting. "How was the stream today?" "Oh, Papa, it was terrible. Those village women are so uncouth. They stare at me with such jealous eyes. Sometimes I wonder why you make me go there at all. We have servants who can fetch water." Chief Okun laughed heavily. "My daughter, even a princess must not forget where she comes from. But you are right. Your beauty is too precious for such common tasks. From tomorrow, the servants will go to the stream." "Thank you, Papa," Amara beamed, kissing his hand. Zara, still struggling with the 2 water pots, quietly carried them to the storage area. She knew better than to interrupt Amara's time with her father. Amara, Chief Okun said, his tone becoming more serious, we need to talk about your marriage. Amara's smile faded slightly. Papa, not this again. Yes, this again. You are 22 years old. By now, you should have been married with children, but you have rejected every single suitor who has come for your hand. Every single one. Because none of them are worthy of me, Papa. You know this. Chief Okun sighed heavily. Worthy? Let me remind you of the suitors you have rejected. There was Emeka, the son of the district officer. You said he was too short. There was Chidi, who owns 3 hotels in the city. You said he was too dark. There was Obina, the doctor. You said he talked too much. There was Tunde, the lawyer. You said his teeth were crooked. Should I continue? Amara crossed her arms. They were all flawed, Papa. I deserve perfection. Perfection does not exist, my daughter, but there is a new suitor coming today, a very wealthy man from Lagos. He owns an import-export business and has houses in 3 countries. Please, I beg you, at least be civil to him. I will see him, Amara said with a dismissive wave, but I make no promises. That afternoon, the suitor arrived in a convoy of expensive cars. His name was Mr. Johnson, and he was indeed very wealthy. His clothes were tailored, his shoes shined like mirrors, and gold rings adorned his fingers. He was in his early 40s, successful and respected. He was also, by most standards, not particularly handsome. His face was round and pockmarked from childhood smallpox. His belly stretched against his expensive shirt. When he smiled, his teeth showed gaps. The meeting lasted exactly 10 minutes. Thank you for seeing me, Miss Amara, Mr. Johnson said politely. Your father has told me so much about you, and I must say, you are even more beautiful than he described. Amara looked him up and down with barely concealed disgust. Is that so? Yes. I would be honored if you would consider being my wife. I can provide everything you need. Houses, cars, jewelry, travel. Stop. Amara held up her hand. Let me save us both some time. I would rather die than marry someone who looks like a toad that swallowed a drum. Your money cannot buy you a pretty face, and your wealth means nothing to me. I am beautiful enough to marry a prince, a movie star, a millionaire who is also handsome. Why would I settle for this? She gestured at him as if he were a piece of spoilt meat. Mr. Johnson's face darkened with humiliation. Chief Okon jumped to his feet. Amara, apologize at once. I will not apologize for having standards, Papa. This man is ugly, and no amount of money can change that fact. Now, if you will excuse me, I have better things to do than waste my time with a frog in expensive clothes. She stood up and walked out of the parlor, leaving Mr. Johnson sitting in stunned silence. I am so sorry, Chief Okon stammered. My daughter, she's young and... Please, Mr. Johnson stood up, his dignity shattered. Do not apologize for her. I have heard the stories about your daughter, Chief Okon. I had hoped they were exaggerated, but I see now they were not. I wish you luck in finding her a husband, because with that kind of attitude, she will need it. He left without another word, his convoy kicking up dust as it sped away from the compound. Chief Okon found Amara in her room, admiring herself in the mirror. Do you have any idea what you have done? He thundered. I rejected an ugly man, Papa, just as I have rejected all the others. You should be thanking me for maintaining my standards. Standards? Arrogance, pride, that is what you have, Amara, not standards. Papa, why are you shouting at me? Amara turned to him with wide, innocent eyes. I am your precious jewel, remember? Your beautiful daughter. You always said I deserve the best. Chief Okon felt his anger deflate. He was right. He had spoiled her terribly. Every time someone criticized Amara, he defended her. Every time she wanted something, he gave it to her. He had created this monster, and now he did not know how to control it. Just please, Amara, the next suitor, try to be kind. Of course, Papa, Amara smiled sweetly. I will try. But they both knew it was a lie. 3 months passed, and Amara's reputation grew worse with each passing day. She had rejected 12 more suitors, each rejection more insulting than the last. The women at the stream began to avoid her completely, choosing to go at different times just to escape her cruel tongue. Even the servants in her father's house walked on eggshells around her. Only Zara remained by her side, not by choice, but by obligation. As Amara sips tester, she was expected to serve her, attend to her needs, and endure her abuse in silence. One particular afternoon, the sun was blazing hot. Amara decided she wanted to go to the market in the neighboring village, and of course, Zara had to accompany her. They walked along the dusty path, Amara in front with a parasol to shield her precious skin from the sun, Zara behind carrying Amara's shopping basket. This heat is unbearable, Amara complained. Why did God make the sun so hot? Does he not know that it ruins my skin? Zara said nothing. She had learned long ago that Amara's complaints did not require answers. As they walked, they passed an old woman sitting by the roadside. She was ancient, her face lined with wrinkles like a map of all her years. Her clothes were tattered, barely more than rags. In her trembling hands, she held a small wooden bowl, a beggar's bowl. Please, the old woman's voice was weak and raspy. Please, kind travelers, I have not eaten in 2 days. Anything you can spare, even a few coins. Amara stopped and looked down at the old woman with disgust. How pathetic. Look at you, sitting here like garbage on the roadside. Have you no shame? The old woman looked up, her cloudy eyes trying to focus on Amara's face. Please, beautiful daughter, I can see you are wealthy. Just a small... Daughter? Amara's voice rose in outrage. How dare you call me your daughter? I would never be related to someone so disgusting. Look at you. You are filthy, you smell, and you dare to speak to me? Amara, please, Zara whispered. Let us just go. She is just a hungry old woman. Silence, Amara snapped. I will teach this old witch a lesson about knowing her place. She opened her purse and pulled out a handful of coins. The old woman's eyes lit up with hope. Thank you, may God bless. Bless me? Amara laughed, a cruel, harsh sound. God has already blessed me with beauty and wealth. It is you who needs blessings, you old witch. Then, to Zara's horror, Amara threw the coins at the old woman, not into her bowl, but at her face, her body, scattering them in the dirt around her. There, scramble in the dirt for them, you witch. That is where you belong, in the dirt with the rest of the garbage. The old woman raised her hands to protect her face as coins bounced off her. Some rolled into the bushes, others disappeared in the dust. Amara stood there laughing, a high-pitched mocking sound that echoed down the empty road. Look at you, Amara continued, crawling in the dirt like a dog. This is what happens to people who do not take care of themselves. You are old, ugly, and poor because you are too lazy to make something of your life. I disgust you. The old woman slowly lowered her hands. The coins lay scattered around her, glinting in the sunlight, but she made no move to pick them up. Instead, she looked directly at Amara, and her cloudy eyes suddenly seemed to clear, becoming sharp and penetrating. Amara, daughter of Chief Okon, you, who are blessed with great beauty but cursed with an ugly heart. You who have used your gift to cause pain and suffering to others. You who believe yourself above everyone, even above common human kindness. Are you still talking? Amara rolled her eyes. Go away, old woman, before I... You have mocked the poor, old woman continued, her voice growing stronger. You have humiliated the humble. You have broken hearts and crushed spirits. You have used your beauty as a weapon, never as a gift. And now you dare to throw coins at me as if I were a dog, to call me a witch and laugh at my suffering? Yes, I did all those things, Amara said impatiently. Are you going to cry about it? Are you going to report me to someone who would listen to a beggar? The old woman's eyes seemed to glow in the afternoon sun. You asked me if I am a witch, Amara. Let me answer that question. She raised one withered hand and pointed at Amara. I am more than a witch, child. I am a guardian of balance, a keeper of justice. I have walked this earth for more years than you can count, watching, waiting, testing the hearts of humans. And your heart, Amara, is the ugliest I have seen in all my years. Amara laughed nervously. You are crazy. Zara, let us go. This old woman has lost her mind. You say beauty is everything, the old woman said. You say it makes you better than others. You say it gives you the right to be cruel. Very well. Let us see how you fare when that beauty is gone. What are you talking about? Amara took a step back. I curse you, Amara, daughter of Chief Oko. By the power of all that is just and right, I curse you. Tomorrow, when the cock crows at dawn, you will wake up and find that your beauty has been taken from you. Your smooth skin will become rough and scarred. Your bright eyes will become dull and lifeless. Your lovely face will become a mirror of the ugliness in your heart. And thus you will remain until you learn what true beauty is. You are insane, Amara shrieked. Curses are not real. Magic is not real. We shall see, the old woman said calmly. We shall see. But know this, the curse can only be broken when you perform an act of genuine selfless kindness, when you humble yourself completely, and when you understand that true beauty comes from within. Until then, you will wear your ugliness on your face for all the world to see. With those words, the old woman began to fade. Not walk away, but actually fade like smoke in the wind. Within seconds, she was gone, leaving only the scattered coins glinting in the dirt. Amara stood frozen, her mouth open. Zara gripped her arm. Amara, what was that? She just disappeared. It was a trick, Amara said, but her voice shook. A trick of the light. Old people do not just vanish into thin air. But she did. I saw it. She did not. Amara spun around, her eyes wild. And even if she did, curses are not real. Zara, this is the 21st century. People don't get cursed. Beauty doesn't just disappear overnight. But despite her words, Amara felt a cold fear settling in her stomach. She touched her face with trembling hands, feeling her smooth skin, as if checking that it was still there. Let us go home, she said abruptly. This heat is making me see things. We're both seeing things. Tomorrow, when I wake up just as beautiful as I am today, we will laugh about this. They walked home in silence, but Amara kept touching her face over and over, as if trying to memorize every feature. The transformation. That night, Amara could not sleep. She lit every lamp in her room and sat before her mirror staring at her reflection. Her beauty was still there, perfect, flawless, undeniable. The fear she had felt on the road began to fade. Foolish girl, she told her reflection, getting scared by a crazy old woman. Curses are not real. Magic is not real. Tomorrow you will wake up exactly as you are now. She repeated those words like a prayer, over and over, until exhaustion finally claimed her and she fell asleep in front of the mirror. The rooster's crow pierced the dawn silence. Amara awoke with a start.
her heart pounding. For a moment, she lay still, afraid to open her eyes, afraid to look. Then she laughed at herself. "This is ridiculous," she muttered. She was acting like a frightened child, afraid of monsters under the bed. She stood up, stretched, and walked to her mirror with confidence. She would look at her reflection, see her beautiful face exactly as it had always been, and this whole silly episode would be over. She looked. The scream that tore from her throat was so loud, so filled with pure horror, that it brought the entire household running. Chief Okon burst into the room, Zara close behind, servants crowding at the door. "Amara, what is..."